Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well out there, guys and gals. Hold on, let me fix my fan real quick. Hope this fan won't be too disruptive in this video. Guys and gals, today is an awesome day. Well, actually, yesterday was. So, yesterday, we were getting ready for a garage sale that we're going to have this weekend. And we went out to our storage building and started going through a lot of stuff to sell, obviously. And some things we're not going to sell. You know, we're kind of just reorganizing the storage room or storage building. And along the way, I already knew I was going to run into these, but along the way, I found some of my old gaming magazines from back in the day when they first came out. And, you know, I was a nerd over certain games that were coming up. And so, yeah, we have these gaming magazines right here. Now, keep in mind, this is just a small sample of it. If you guys like these kind of videos, let me know. I've got at least 2 more boxes full of gaming magazines of all kinds, you know, like the Gamefan magazine, EGM, obviously Gamepro. I have Nintendo Powers. They're already here in the house, though. I'm gonna go through the Nintendo Powers on another video at some point. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. But in the meantime, I'm gonna show you what I've come across so far. I found a small box that had these in it, kind of separate from everything else. But again, like I said, I have at least 2 full boxes out there of gaming magazines. I have another box out there that's just full of Mustang, you know, Ford Mustang magazines. I used to be a big Mustang fan, and so I used to get a lot of the magazines that talked about them and stuff like that. So anyways, for today's video, we're gonna go over this small stack of what I found so far. And like I said, if you guys do want to see me do more of these kind of videos, definitely let me know. But here we have our first issue right here, talking about Super Street Fighter 2 coming out for the home consoles, it looks like. Super NES, Genesis, Turbo Arcade. Or just in general, I guess. Awesome. So, great artwork. That's what I love about these magazines. The artwork, of course, the content was the big thing for me back then. What all it would show you in the actual magazines and stuff like that. We'll kind of flip through this one a little bit. But, you know, you've got they were all big on their rating system back then, you know, rating the games. Oh, look, get a subscription of 12 issues for only $20. It's not bad. I think we should do it. Might be expired. Here is some NBA Jam content, which is awesome. Shows all the hidden characters right there. But just great. And so many people have mentioned before, I love seeing the old ads in these games. There's so many of them, and these gaming magazines, excuse me. There's so many of them, and they're all really cool usually. You know, just usually some kind of funny little thing, or maybe just totally serious. But either way, the ads are really cool to see from like the 90s, right? Here's the game right here, Streets of Rage 3. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I played the Streets of Rage games, never the third one. I love the first and second one, played the crap out of them, but never really delved deep. I think I may have picked up and tried it out a couple times, but never really like fully invested myself into Streets of Rage 3 like I did with the prior ones. So there's that. This is kind of cool. A video jukebox. I've never really even heard of this before. But it looks like you can actually plug in your console into this box right here, and then maybe it's like a selector. You pick which game you want to play. That's kind of neat. Again, even back in the day, I don't remember seeing this ad anywhere. So literally, this is the first time. Kind of looks cool, though. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here's a little Sega CD review for Mortal Kombat. Did not do very well. As you guys can see here, hopefully you can see. I know there's probably some layers and stuff, shadows. But, wow, did you see that? It says, somebody kill this game before it multiplies. The original Mortal Kombat is back, this time on CD, and you think there'd be some improvements. Think again. Wow. Really busting it. There's the article right there. There's what's talking about it there, guys. But yeah, overall, man, I don't know. It did not do very well, as you guys can see. A 5.0 is what you strive for back then, and those are very low numbers. So I personally love the Sega CD version. Even back then, I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't know. Maybe it didn't quite live up to the hype. Maybe there was so much more. Maybe there was more they could do with the actual game. But either way, I thought it was a great version of Mortal Kombat. Anyways, enough of that. We're not here for that right now. We're just here to kind of look at the actual articles and get an idea of some of these awesome ads in here as well. But yeah, it's just, I know I'm going slow, but Knights of the Round, that's another great arcade game that came out for the Super Nintendo. I think it came out for Sega Genesis also. I could be wrong, but for Super Nintendo for sure. As you guys can see right there. There's Oh, has a pro strategy guide in here for the for Metroid, Super Metroid. Power Rangers game. That's crazy. But yeah, here's this one. Where's the meat and potatoes of this magazine? Where's the Super Street Fighter 2 stuff? Jurassic Park. Is it in here? I might flip past it. If I do, it's no big deal. But oops. Hey, I had that guide right there. I wouldn't mind going back and collecting some of these old Gamepros. I don't know if they're expensive now or not. There may be some issues that are more expensive than others just because of the content that's in the magazine, you know. But anyways, it's kind of cool. Oh, here's some information on Mortal Kombat 2. Tournament winning combos and strategies. That's kind of cool. Fighter's Edge is what this segment's called. And as you see, it shows you some combinations. It looks like it shows you an actual, it's probably changed. I know it's changed by now, but it looks like it shows you who's the best characters to fight against who, stuff like that. So, kind of cool. Oh, it keeps going. A lot of good information there. Even shows you a little bit of the tournament scene. There's Super Street Fighter 2. Talk about Midwest Regional Championship. There's somebody who won a bunch of stuff right there. Mike Watson. Pretty cool. There's some more photos of the actual tournament, but sorry for the glare. But this is way awesome, guys. I love seeing this stuff. Back in the day, I used to love reading through all this. And again, just waiting for that new game to come out. And, you know, being able to, you know, just build up the hype by looking at the magazines, look at the actual screenshots, stuff like that. That's something I always wanted, but I never got. A Sega CD-X, which plays your Sega Genesis games and, of course, your Sega CD games. I would love to own one of those, but even now, they're super expensive. Probably because they're probably a little bit more rare to find in really good condition, to be honest with you. I still have my Sega CD. I'll probably do an unboxing video for that at some point. And it's kind of hit or miss. It'll run some games. Other games it won't run. Like the ones that have like the interactive movies, like, you know, like Night Trap, like Sewer Sharks, the ones that have the actual interactive, or not interactive, but like, you know, like full motion video kind of games. It kind of chugs on those, has issues. But I think it'll still run like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. So, anyways, looks like we missed the Street Fighter segment. It might have been somewhere earlier on. But anyways, there you go, guys. That's the first one I found. GamePro magazine, Super Street Fighter 2. Now tell me that wasn't an appealing cover back in the day when you're a young gamer. You know, this came out in 94. See, July of 1994. So I was, what was I? Let's see. I was like 15 years old. And yeah, so me being a young gamer, especially big into these fighting games, wow. Yeah, I was all over those kind of books there. Next we have another one. I've always loved this book, the way it looks. And it's full. I think there's something else in here, but we'll check that here in a second. Mortal Kombat 2 GamePro magazine. This is a thick one. Damn. Great cover. Again, big fan of the artwork. This also talks about Super Street Fighter 2. Talk about the arcade strategies, combos, stuff like that. In fact, this is... Does it have a date on this one? I'm sure it does, but it's not right here. Sometimes they have it on the spine. This one's starting to tear up, as you guys can see, probably. Anyways, I don't know the date, but this feels like it's probably pretty close to when this one came out. See, it still has the same kind of, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, it has the same kind of header. You know, over time they changed some of that stuff. But anyways, really cool looking book, right? I mean, look at that artwork for Mortal Kombat 2. What does it say about it? It just says Mortal Kombat 2 right there. New characters, new moves. So yeah, again, this must be around the time Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out. So yeah, it's an old, it's an old book, right? What is this in the middle here that's causing all this inflated size of this magazine? Oh, it's a Super Street Fighter 2 strategy guide. Look at that. Inside this guide, there's a Super Street Fighter 2 Pro Strategy Guide. Now, I don't know if this particular one came with this magazine or not. We're going to leave it just where we found it. Although it is kind of, well, that might be, yeah, that's exactly what it is right there. It's probably that Pro Strategy Guide right there, talking about it. I'm going to leave it out. No, we'll put it back in. I don't like it. Nope. Final decision. I'm leaving it out. Because this book is already starting to tear up, as you can see on its own. And that anything that makes it extra thick is going to, you know, cause it more issues in the future. So, anyways, Mortal Kombat 2 discussion right there. Got some really cool ads for Sega CD right there. Let's talk about the full motion video. There's some more if we want to renew our membership. That looked like, what was that? I can't remember. Oh, Sunset Riders, another game I loved back in the day. Great version from the arcade. Lawnmower Man, never played it. The movie's okay. Wow, they gave Lawnmower Man. They gave it a pretty good review. Wow, okay, it got 5.0. Oh, sorry, you probably can't see that. There we go. 5.0, not bad. or at least overall, it's like at least a 4 point something. Interesting. Is this game really that good? Guys, you tell me. Lawnmower Man. Again, I think the movie's okay, but never known the game to be something special. But talks about it some more right there. Flashback was another great game back in the time. It did very well too. It had like a 5.0. Soldiers of Fortune. Where is the Mortal? I probably just skipped all of it right there. Mortal Kombat stuff. No, not really. Anyways, it talks about Mortal Kombat here somewhere. That's pretty cool though. This magazine came out around the time Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out in the arcades. That's great. Oh, page 28. Why not just read and go straight to the page I need to go to, like a smart person would. Page 28. Still in the 40s. Page 10. That's a big skip. 27 and 28. There you go. Some early Mortal Kombat 2 screen footage. That's crazy. Even shows the little, at the bottom it shows the little actual, you know, live action advertisements they kind of did. But look at that. Look at those classic MK2 screenshots. You can tell it's like early stuff, you know. Really cool. There's the old school screen right there of it. Freaking awesome though, guys. It's probably just that one page, right? That's the thing back then. They just hyped you up, you know what I mean? It got you all excited. Maybe 2 pages, let's see. Yeah, let's get a little bit more right there. But anyways, back then, they would just hype you up to no end. And, you know, even with just a couple pages, for me, back then, just a couple, even though there was just a couple pages, I would just sit there and stare at it and read over and over again. I was obsessed, guys, okay? I was obsessed with these early fighting games. They were just, you know, they were everything to me back then. That's my kind of games. All right, this is a little bit older one right here. October 1992. This is a very early book. I think this series, I think the Gamepros came out like in 1989 or something like that. I have a 1989 issue right here below it, but I think that's when they started, or somewhere around there. But there you go, this early stuff. Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo strategies. That's what it's talking about here. Let's kind of do a quick thumb through it here. Universal Soldier, did that game do well? No, okay. there you go, some strategies. There's Dalsim right there. Zangief, this little pro strategy guy in here. That's way cool. Again, guys, sorry about the shadows and the glares. I do my best. Vega, I'm sure I can go through all the bosses, right? Very nice. So yeah, really cool. Great looking book, great ads, great games in general, honestly. What game is this? Soldier Blade. That did really well. I'm not sure I ever played that one though. That's pretty cool looking. Even gives you some of the, look, there's like a tips hotline, I guess. New game hotline, I'm assuming that's what that is, for tips and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Haven't seen one of those in a good while. There you go. Oh, I cut something out right there. Interesting. That might have been a subscription at some point. It looks like subscription cards. Anyways, wow. Very nice. 1992 Gamepro. And now, this one's almost torn up completely. But now we go back to a 1989, I believe. December of 89. And while this isn't probably I think this is the first year it came out. I'm not 100% positive on that. But it's definitely an old Gamepro book. Doesn't say anywhere in here, does it? Sometimes it'll say, hey, this is the first issue, that kind of thing. It doesn't say that anywhere on here. It just says December 1989. Again, very late 80s. So that's cool. You can see a lot more Nintendo games in here. NES games, stuff like that. Not so much Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. It'd be the previous systems primarily. That's pretty cool. The Wizard. Did you guys ever see that movie? I thought that was... I liked it. You know what I mean? I thought it was a great movie. I know it's kind of silly when you think about it nowadays. It's real, to me, the Wizard movie is really just a big advertisement for Super Mario Brothers 3. It's like a giant commercial. Even though you only briefly see Super Mario Brothers 3 at the end. But that's kind of the way I feel like it. I feel like, you know, it came around that same time. And I feel like that's just their way of kind of getting the hype built up around Super Mario Brothers 3. But there you go. I'm not even familiar with those games. Interesting. Those games on the right, there's like some off-brand games. Color Dreams, what it says. I guess that's the brand for them. Crystal Castles. Never really played Crystal Castles. Know of it, but never really played it. There's Double Dragon for the Atari. Nice. We've come a long way, haven't we? But man, these are the kind of games I love, though. I love the, as you guys already know, if you don't know by now, you need to watch some more, just like one or two of my videos. I'm a retro gamer, guys. I love modern games too, but I primarily, you know, I grew up on these right here, so those are my go-tos. There's one of those, it's like a wireless controller. Ooh. Crazy. Probably didn't work very good. I don't know. TurboGrafx 16 advertisement right there. And game on the left-hand side, Alien Crush. Never played it. I think I have a ROM of this game, though, for the TurboGrafx. It's just a pinball game, right? So, really cool. I don't remember this controller. I don't think I had one of these, but a buddy might have had something, either that same one or something like it. All right. Really cool. Let's talk about Sega Genesis right there. That's so. I don't think the Super Nintendo is out yet, but that's very early year of Sega Genesis. It was still, you know, there's Super Mario Land. Shows you the levels. That's pretty cool. Man, guys, it's great. This is literally the first time I've looked at these magazines in, you know, over probably 20 years or so. Bionic Commando. Great game. I played the crap out of that game for Nintendo. I loved that one. Yeah, it was awesome. Very different from the arcade version, but it was still a lot of fun. Usually in here somewhere they have some, like a code section. You know, may have already passed it, but there's usually like a code showing you some codes for games or strategies, stuff like that. So interesting. Now I actually love Gen games. I've had a few of these. I have Rolling Thunder, I have Shinobi. Alien Syndrome is pretty cool. Played Afterburner. Gauntlet's awesome. Love RBI Baseball. Probably still to this date one of my favorite baseball games, even though it's not very realistic. It's just a lot of fun. It just reminds me of old arcade style baseball game. Okay, so then we skip ahead quite a bit, actually. This goes all the way up to December 1997. This is 8 years later. And it's got some great games here. We've got Mortal Kombat 4 discussion. We've got, I like this game. I'm not sure, well, a lot of people don't really care for this game much. But Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi was the fighting game. It was like a 3D fighting game for Star Wars. I might do another video on that here pretty soon. I really enjoyed that game. I thought they did a pretty good job with it. Very similar to Tekken because they have like their own like 10-hit combos and stuff too. So pretty cool. But yeah, look at that. There's Talk About Mythologies right there. Man, what a nice book. This one's really thick. Jesus. December 97, that's the year I graduated. So I graduated in, well, of course, that year, but like in May, you know. But this is a few months later, apparently. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Very nice. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff in here. So there's a, what is this? Probably old folder or old poster that came with it. Yep, still attached to it. There's a calendar, a poster, something like that. From Sonic. And here's something else. It's still attached. Tiger handheld. Oh, okay, I remember those, but I never played it. Metal Gear Solid information. Oh, that's kind of cool artwork for Miss Laura Croft there. Yeah, I keep skipping ahead by accident because there's all these like hard pages in here. Zero. Oh, that's cool. What are those, like stamps? That's what it looks like. Just cards. I don't know. Powerboat Racing. This is pretty cool. These other Star Wars games, like this one, Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2. I played like, what is it? I think it was Outcast. There was a couple other ones that were a lot of fun. Different, but that one got 5 across the board. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. 5 across the board. Damn, it did well. I don't know if it's that good. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. Cool. Some more ads. PlayStation ads. Marvel Superheroes. Dang, this book is thick, man. Some more games being reviewed. They were really good at reviewing games in here. Nintendo 64. Here's some NBA Live. Oop, just skipped a bunch again. Awesome. Nothing really important there. Star Fox. I played that one quite a bit. Yeah. Oop. Got some codes right here. What is this? Looks like we have some codes here Marvel superheroes. Mega Man X4. Pretty cool. Very nice book. This one's, like I said, really thick. So, there's that one. Now we're going to go backwards a little bit. This is from January 1995. Another GamePro magazine. Ooh, look at this. Hot arcade games for 95. And we're talking about Killer Instinct right there. You got Spinal. Really cool. Mortal Kombat the movie being advertised. That's awesome. Got some information on Doom over here for the 32X. Or excuse me, Jaguar. And there's talking about some 32X games in there. They got Virtue Racing, Mega Man X2, Star Wars Arcade for 32X. Good book. Another super thick one. Excuse me. It's got some grass on it. It's been out in storage, guys. Storage building gets dirty, you know. Grass and dust. There you go. Got a big cover of Earthworm Jim on here. Talk about the writers and the of this magazine. It talks about Mortal Kombat 4 or Mortal Kombat the movie on page 36. We'll go to that here in just a moment. We don't accidentally skip it. Ugh. It's hard. There we go. Who was that? Operation Wolf 3. Cool. I love the first one. I never played any of the sequels. Way of the Warrior, guys, for the 3DO. Was not a big hit. It looks cool. Did not do that great, unfortunately. 36. Here we go. Making of Mortal Kombat movie. Pretty cool. Shows you the characters right there and their on-screen counterparts. Sorry guys, so you can see all that. There's a really cool shot of Cage, Sonya, and Liu Kang about to fight Subs and Scorpion, although that fight never actually does take place, but they do meet up with them like that. There's Kano, Cage, we got Sonya and Katana, and Raiden and Shang Tsung. Really cool. Wow. Is it just that one page? Let's see. That's it. So again, it's just getting you hyped up for it. But by showing you very little. But of course, as more stuff came out for it, they talked about it more and more. So there's some just games I guess they're selling and maybe the values of them. There's advertisements. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game. Virtue Racing. Awesome, awesome. Operation Thunderbolt. More advertising. More advertising. And this looks like the pro strategy guide inside here for Earthworm Jim. There you go. Secret stuff, it says. Part 2. But that's the thing about these magazines, guys. They're just chock full of great information. I mean, you know, kept you busy for a long time. I'd buy one of these magazines and I could just sit there and just read it over and over again. And just get hyped up for the upcoming games. You know, I wasn't just into fighting games. I did a lot of other stuff as well, but you know, fighting games were one of the main ones I would kind of be watching for. Classic football players don't even play anymore. I got Troy Aikman right there. Oh my goodness. Game I've never heard of. Pitfall advertisement. So yeah. Oh, I remember this game. I can't remember what it's called though. Let's go back a few pages to see. They're like all bubbles, right? Is that what it's called? Is it balls? Crazy. Yeah, I remember seeing this game. I've never tried it though. I've never played it. Interesting. Some more advertisements. All kinds of crazy stuff. Some codes, I think. Always have a code section. There's some more, what is this? Is this Way of the Warrior? Tournament style winning combos. Interesting. Mortal Kombat 2 home versions. Cool. Nice little ad for that right there. Although the home versions all look to me like the photos for the home versions all look to me like the Super Nintendo. You know, it advertises Super NES, Genesis, Game Boy, and of course Game Gear. But when you look at the screenshots, it all looks like the Super Nintendo version of it, which is fine. It's whatever. Visually, I'd have to say that was probably the best one in my personal opinion. Anyways, there you have it, guys. There is this one. Another nice book, January 1995. And now we stumble across a Mortal Kombat strategy guide, which was put out by Gamepro anyways. So another awesome strategy guide I've kept over the years. Free poster inside. Do I still have that poster inside? I may have actually put that up somewhere. Oh, yeah, I took it out. It was right there. I'm not sure if you can see that's where it was at originally. Look, it even has the codes back here. We're not going to go through this one a whole lot, but I just want to show you guys. This one covers all the home versions of Mortal Kombat. Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Gear, and Game Boy. Really cool. We'll kind of thumb through it, though. All the characters, the basic attacks, their profiles. Tells you a little bit about them, of course. God dang, why are they so heavy? Let me see this for a second. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to start with the commit. Why Johnny Cage is 6'1" and he weighs 200 pounds? I mean, damn, dude. I mean, I guess he's that tall. I didn't know. I really didn't know. And then Raiden is, what the hell, 7 foot tall, 350 pounds? Is this right, guys? Tell me this isn't right. They don't look that tall in the game. So let's go ahead and check them all out real quick. Okay, Kano might be right. 6 foot, but yeah, 6 foot, 205 pounds. I can see that for Kano. Liu Kang, there we go. That's about right. He's smaller, 5'10". I would have put him about 5'8" or something, but I don't know, 5'10", 185 pounds. That's probably pretty close. Okay, Scorpion's not too bad. 6'2" and 210 pounds. Okay, that's realistic. Same thing for Sub-Zero's the exact same. And Sonya is 125. Okay, 5'10". Okay. She's a little bit tall for a girl, but. And then Goro. Okay, yeah, he is gonna be tall. 8'2" and 550 pounds. Crazy. Shang Tsung, no one knows. It's a mystery. But anyways, even talks about Reptile being the secret character and how to get to him. And it looks like it goes through each console. There's Sega Genesis, and I guess it goes through all the details of that, the combos. It says pro tips. Some information about Kano right there. And I'm assuming after Sega Genesis, we're going to jump into like Super Nintendo or something. Super NES, there you go. Same way, it's just going to cover all the details of the characters of Super NES. And then so much and so forth. After the Super NES, Game Gear. And then I'm assuming, you know, you go like Game Boy. All the black and white, yeah, Game Boy. I like the artwork of these pictures, really cool. They're not the best, I guess, not the highest quality, but I think they look pretty cool. Kano looks pretty cool right there. Game Boy. And of course, I was just talking about Goro and Shang Tsung. I guess just strategies to beat them. Anyways, really cool little strategy guide. This one's from, I would guess, the early 90s, since it's talking about the first Mortal Kombat, you know. Awesome. Wish I knew what happened to that poster. I think I have an idea, but I'm not positive. All right, well, we're going to skip these a little bit faster as we're nearing the last few issues. Another Gamepro magazine, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So this one's going to be August 1993. This is still kind of old. But I guess that's when Turbo probably hit the arcades. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. It's just Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I said Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Street Fighter 2 Turbo when it goes to home consoles, which was another great day for me. I was super excited to get that one. 1993. Oh, look at that. Sega. That's the Sega CD I want. The one where it's like where it stacks, you know what I mean? Instead of just the one that goes side by side. But from what I hear, finding these in working condition is probably pretty damn rare at this point. Batman Returns, great Super Nintendo game. This stuff in here. Night Trap. Awesome. Wait, what was that? I thought I saw some paperwork or something. Okay. Anyways, cool little book there from 1993. This one's really cool. June of 94. Another pro tip strategy guide included for Mortal Kombat 2 in this one. And exclusive Super Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo. Fantastic. Oh, here's something cool. Okay, let's see what this is real quick. Well, I can only assume we're on the NBA Jam page. There you go. These are my notes for, let's see, power-ups and... Yeah, power-ups, that's it. That's super cool. And I'm such a nerd. Look, I even wrote down, codes written on March 7th, 1995. Man, my handwriting looked really good back then. It doesn't look anything like that now. Yeah. Okay, I'm a dork. Anyways, there's some codes for this section of NBA Jam, which is pretty freaking cool. I could probably find a lot more stuff like that in different books too, but interesting. I love it. Love coming across that old stuff like that. Oh, there you go. There's the pro tip strategy guide for Mortal Kombat 2. Just shows you some combos and abilities for each character. Pretty cool. Very nice. Got some of the same ads we had in some of the other ones. There's the Super Street Fighter 2 strategies as well. Again, for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, man. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Okay. That was, again, June 1994. September 1995. Really cool. This involves Primal Rage, another great game. Street Fighter the movie arcade game. World Heroes Perfect. Killer Instinct for the Super Nintendo. Nice, nice. All you had to do back then was slap on certain titles on your cover, and you know, it got everybody hyped and wanting to watch, wanting to look through the magazine. So really cool. This one's starting to come apart, unfortunately, at the staples there. We'll just cut some through this one real quick. There's some Primal Rage for the Sega Genesis. It did okay. Well, it did all right, I guess. 4.0 and a couple 3.5s, so it's kind of okay. Nothing spectacular, but okay. Super Nintendo Killer Instinct did okay as well. Nothing touches the arcade version, but hey, back in the day when this game came out, I was just in awe. I was amazed. I was super excited for it. I was like, wow, we're getting a home version of this game, and to me, overall, it did not let down. I mean, it did not let me down. I loved it. I thought it was a great version of the game. Even back then, I could understand the limitations, you know, on these games, and you know, so I understood it wasn't going to be just like it, but it was really cool having that, you know, similar experience with these same characters on your home console. I mean, that was a big deal back then. Sorry, I keep skipping ahead, but these ads here in the middle kind of force me to, the way I'm holding the book. Some more Primal Rage strategies and Street Fighter the movie strategies. I may have to look through some of those strategies, actually. I've been kind of interested in playing the Street Fighter movie game here lately. What is this? Oh, I don't know what that's for. It's kind of got something on it. You probably can't see it in the camera, but it's got something on it. It may be just the ink from this side. In fact, I bet that's what it is. I bet it's just the ink from like these photos. Yeah. Anyways, there you go. There's the Primal Rage book from 1995. This one's way more recent. It's still pretty old. This is 2001, April 2001. But in this book, we're gonna talk about more like the probably what PlayStation 2 stuff. Yeah, PS2 came out in 2000, so there'll be more PS2 stuff in this one. All jacked up right there. This is getting a little bit more modern, but still fairly old though. We're talking like what, 24 years old now, honestly. I won't cook this a whole lot. Gladiator. Hidden duties. What is that? Interesting. Huh, they even have, this is kind of cool. So even this section of, you know, secrets and stuff like that, this one even talks about, it has a DVD secrets. Like some DVD movies came out, had some extra stuff in them that were kind of hidden. That's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. They included that kind of stuff. There we go. More codes. And yeah, there's that one from 2001. We got one more here, January 1999. So still right before the PS2 came out. We're still back in the PlayStation 1, end of N64 era. Or, you know, kind of close to the end of N64 era. Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. Cool. So yeah, this is January 99. And all this stuff is falling out. Excuse me, just put that right there. Pardon me. Not much to talk about this one. Just there's not really anything that kind of headlines it. Just a bunch of other random games. He's about to kill that lady. That's cool. Very interesting. Odd World. Talking about Zelda, that was the big thing back then, apparently, for this book. Nintendo 64's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Anyways, that's it. That's it for this load, guys. Like I said, I've got more. I've got tons more. At least 2 boxes full of Gamepros and other ones, as I mentioned before, like EGM, Gamefan. What else is around back then? I've got tons of them. I have to go through them just to see. But if you like these kind of videos, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this one particularly. It looks like, again, these were all in a small box on their own separately. It looks like at one point I just kind of separated the ones that were like a little bit more game specific to, like, you know, what I was into at the time, like fighting games, right? Like Primal Rage. This has Mortal Kombat 2 discussion in it. This has Street Fighter. This has, of course, this is a Mortal Kombat strategy guide. So this talks about Killer Instinct here. And that's the big one there. This talks about Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi. So apparently I was, you know, already kind of anticipating that game coming out. And this one was just one of, I think it's my first issue of GamePro that I got. Again, not the first issue, I don't think, in all, but an early issue of GamePro. Here is, again, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2 with this amazing cover. This is still one of my favorite covers for GamePro. Put that over here. And this as well, great cover. But another Street Fighter GamePro magazine. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Like I said, if you like these kind of videos, I've got plenty more books to go through. If I do one of the big boxes of magazines, I won't do like as thorough as I was on these. I'll probably just kind of, you know, look, you know, kind of pull them aside and look at each one, maybe thumb through it quickly. But I was a little bit more thorough with these because these ones were really good. That's what I'm saying. I think I separated these for some reason at some point. But anyways, guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. One more time, let me know your thoughts, and we will catch you next video, guys. Take care.